What up, Cliptos? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm going to be dropping some information on podcast monetization and how to make money from your podcast without getting advertiser support, without getting ads sold for your show. And when people think about making money from a podcast, I think a lot of people do think about selling ads. But here's the thing with ads. You need a lot of downloads, a tremendous amount of downloads to get advertisers even interested to be able to partner with an ad agency or a podcast network who are going to sell ads on your behalf. You need 20,000 downloads per episode in a 30-day period. So that's not 20,000 downloads over the course of several months or a year. Each new episode that you put out needs to have a minimum of 20,000 downloads per episode. And I'm sure there's some wiggle room there, but that's kind of the general consensus that I've heard from folks in the industry. So if your podcast is not generating that, there's other ways to sell ads. You go on like AdvertiseCast or Podcorn or Gumball. There's a lot of sites now that you can use independently without having to partner with an ad agency. Yeah, you can probably sell ads for your podcast if you're getting fewer downloads. But I guess you got to think of if you would even want to do that. If you would want to insert an ad that may or may not annoy the listener if they're not used to having ads in the show, and if you're not really making a lot of money from them, you might want to think about whether it's worth your time to make a few bucks a month, maybe a couple $100 a month. A couple hundred might be worth it. Anything less than that, you might be better off steering clear of advertising for now. But that's not to say that you can't monetize your podcast, and you can monetize it through other means. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm giving you 7 ways that you can monetize your podcast without selling ads. So number 1 is monetizing your podcast through premium content. And you can do this through a site like Patreon or Supercast. Supercast is geared specifically for subscription-based podcasts, whereas Patreon, there's a lot of other people on there monetizing their art, their creators, and so it's a platform for anyone who wants to monetize an audience. But anyway, offering premium content is a great way to make money with a podcast. And some ideas for this are maybe like bonus segments, or you could offer Q&As with listeners, or completely private listeners that are only available to your paid subscribers. You could maybe offer outtakes, or maybe you have a video and audio podcast, and to get the video, folks have to pay. You could do live hangouts. You could build a community and have a community forum all through a monetized feed of your podcast. And for that, I recommend Patreon or Supercast. The second way to make money as a podcaster is through affiliate income. So if you have a moderate sized audience or an audience that is small but is definitely growing, affiliate income is a great way to make some bonus cash. And what affiliate marketing is when you advertise other people's products. And probably the easiest way to do this is through Amazon. So you can sign up as an Amazon affiliate, and then in your show notes, on your website, on your YouTube channel, anywhere you can put a description of what was talked about in the episode, you can link to products that you mentioned. For instance, my podcast, I'm an Amazon affiliate. In all my show notes and all my YouTube descriptions, I link to products that either I talked about in the episode or that generally I use for podcasting. In my example, that's like microphones, headphones, Riverside, Descript, online services that I use also have affiliate marketing programs, and I'm a part of those. And so if you click on those links and buy something through one of my links, I get a kickback from Amazon. Amazon's kind of low. It's like 3%, but there's affiliate marketing programs that go up to like 20, 30%. So if you have a podcast and you want to monetize through affiliate income, find products that you like, that you talk about on your show, or that are in your niche, that are related to your show, that you use, and that you can promote. You can also do this on social media, on Instagram stories. Like you can put links there, links on Facebook, LinkedIn, and link to things that you like that are going to add value, that are going to benefit people. And you get a small kickback if they decide to buy from you. Number 3 is consulting. If you have a podcast, it's obviously going to help you build authority in your niche. And as you earn trust and as your audience begins to like you and look to you for advice and answers, you can actually start to build a consulting business. And you don't have to like full on make a consulting website. But you can kind of offer this as your service. Tell people in your podcast, hey, I'm consulting on how to lose weight. And my podcast is about nutrition and I'm an expert in that field. And so, hey, I'm setting up coaching calls and consulting calls. If you guys are looking to lose weight, if you guys are looking to, progress on move forward on a health journey, I can guide you along the way. I've got a lot of tools. I got a lot of tips. And so now I'm offering consulting, or you could call it coaching, consulting or coaching, as part of my offerings. And you do that through building trust with your audience through your podcast. Maybe you host like a marketing podcast focused on SEO. That's search engine optimization. You could sell SEO consulting packages. You could do it weekly, monthly, daily. But as you start to build an audience and as they trust you and as you get your message out to more people, you'd be surprised that people actually look to you for advice and they want to know more. And if they're serious about what they're doing and you can help them, that's a skill that you can monetize. It's actually a really common way for podcasters to make money. They sell these coaching programs or consulting programs. Boom. Check out setting up consulting or coaching. Number 4 is online courses. And I don't want to beat a dead horse. I know that you've probably seen a million online courses from your favorite influencer or person of influence that you look up to. But dude, online courses can actually teach you a lot. It's not just snake oil that you're selling. If you create a well-produced course that adds value and is really educational, I think that's a great resource that you can offer people in your audience. I've thought about doing a course about how to, produce and edit podcasts. And if I did, I would probably charge a premium, but I would be giving you killer information on how to use Pro Tools, how to edit, how to mix, how to publish episodes, best practices. But if you have a type of podcast where you're teaching people something, they look to you as an expert in that niche, in that industry. Again, great way to monetize. So piggybacking off of that, number 5 is selling digital products. The first thing that comes to my mind is my ebook. I have an ebook on Amazon called The 4 Pillars of Podcasting. It's a guide basically on how to create a podcast and how to take it from idea through launch. And that's pre-production. It covers the 4 pillars, which are pre-production, production, post-production, and marketing. And I'll link to that in the show notes. It's a few bucks on Amazon. But that's another great way to monetize your expertise. Create something of value and give it to the people. Let them know, hey, I've got this ebook out, or I've got these templates. A lot of people are selling like Canva templates or Photoshop templates. People need that kind of information. They need help. They need resources. And so if you are an expert and you can create things like that, let your people know. Put it in your podcast, put it in your newsletter, put it in all the channels that funnel into your podcast and funnel out of your podcast. Announce it in your ecosystem. Just make sure it's quality and that you're actually teaching people something or giving them something of value. You're not just trying to make a quick buck. Number 6 is merchandise. If you've built up your tribe over time and they're digging the content that you're putting out, they may want to show you off. They may want to support you. Maybe they smack your logo on their laptop, or you design a t-shirt to sell and they wear it because they want to tell people about you because they like you. They got something informational from you. Maybe you made them laugh. Maybe it's a comedy show. Maybe you inspired them, made them cry, whatever it is. You can create all kinds of stuff now online where it's like one-offs, where you don't have to even order like a bulk amount of like shirts or hats or hoodies. You can set it up so that the merch company only makes something when somebody orders something. That way, you don't get stuck with a ton of inventory with like a 5 dozen t-shirts that nobody's buying. But anyway, a website called Printful is a great way to do this. It's an on-demand print shop. You can create tees, backpacks, hoodies, custom shoes, and more. And SPod is another popular print on-demand shop. I don't know if that's Spod or SPod. I've never actually heard anyone say it. I've only seen it written. But again, you can make water bottles, tees, bags, all that good stuff. So if people are digging you and you've come up with some cool designs and you want to sell it, people will buy it as long as you've been around for a while, they trust you, and you're cool. Number 7, last but not least, is public speaking. It seems like there's a new conference every week on podcasting or on crypto or on wellness. So if you have a podcast in this niche and you have a large audience or are growing a large audience, you could look into public speaking. That way you can share your message with new people. You can get them bought into your ecosystem, but you could also teach them something. You could inspire them. Look at Gary Vee, look at Pat Flynn, look at Hal Elrod or Brad Lee. These guys are getting paid big bucks to speak at big conferences. Maybe you're just starting out, you're not going to be the next Tony Robbins of the world, but if you have a message and you have a following and it's growing, public speaking is a great way to make money from your podcast. Boom. So that's it, guys. How to monetize your podcast without selling ads. Hopefully you got a lot of good info from this. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways to make money, even if you don't have that massive audience that is required by ad agencies to partner with you to sell advertising for your show. Be creative and think about what your audience might want. Maybe ask them, hey, I'm going to do a t-shirt drop. Would you be interested? Hey, would you be interested in an online course? I'm creating an online course about how to edit a podcast. Try to get into your demographics of your audience and, just ask them. I will see you next week, guys, with a brand new episode. If you're liking my content, if you're loving my content, I would love for you to show the love by giving me a review on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, or wherever you listen. That way, new people that see the show can see that the audience is feeling it, and that builds authenticity for me. So, peace out, guys, and I will see you next week.